All right, everybody, welcome back. Sam's Army episode, North London Dærby and match 4 preview with the new lingo. So we're going to try out some new things here, including new format tweaks and the like. So this week we are jumping directly into the Premier League, featuring the season's first edition of the North London Dærby. Then, of course, we'll hit halftime and stoppage time with Ivan Toney's best bets, where the overtrain is finally cooking with gas this season, and everyone's favorite segment going. Now, time to welcome in this week's panel of beauties. We will start out with Mr. Mitchell Goulet. Random question. We actually could have made this the weekly what if of the week, but we're not going to. If you swipe right on a 10 and find out she's a furry, you meeting up or no?
10?
A 10.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
No judgment.
No further explanation needed. If you want to dive deeper into who she is, then maybe I can tell you, but that's a pretty blanket yes.
Okay. All right. How far can we go? Like 7? 6.5? No. Okay. All right. There's the line. We'll keep them quick. We'll keep it quick here. Okay. Tommy, best player you've ever played against?
Oh, fuck. That's good. Lucho Acosta is very good. I also really liked Nacho Piatti.
I bet you got you could probably do like a top 10 list of incredible players you played against.
That's a good question. I like that one.
We'll dive into that at some point. Last but never least, Mikey Podcast, aka Mikey Fowler. How pissed were you, Mikey, when you searched the internet high and low, specifically Twitter, and came up with absolutely nothing about me talking shit about Mauricio Pochettino?
It was truly shocking there wasn't one disparaging remark. Even, you know how you reply to everybody who ever sends you anything?
Yeah.
Even people who were saying he needs out, you were like, yeah, it's not him. Yeah, give him time. I got nothing from you. Nothing.
Wow. Did you go back and retroactively delete those?
Absolutely not. I've just been a huge Pochettino fan, ever since the beginning. Listen, the fact he's here now, I'm thankful. I appreciate soccer gods throwing me a bone for once. All right. Like I said, we're jumping right into the nitty gritty here with the North London Dærby, which is going to be the highlight of this weekend's Premier League, or low light. Probably highlight for one of us, and low light for 3 of us, in my personal opinion. But listen, we're coming into this off an international break where we lost a starter. Martin Odegaard is now down and out for a little while. That ankle roll did not look good. I don't know if they've come out and said anything about that. We're also going to be missing Declan Rice from Arsenal because of the correct call, by the way. PGMOL came out and said Chris Kavanagh, brilliant refereeing by him 2 weeks ago when he gave Declan Rice that soft second yellow / red. So, listen, North London Dærby, always huge. Mikey, I know you've got some things to say. You've got some hate in your heart for international breaks just in general. But what about this game? What are your thoughts here? Who needs it more? Hit us with it.
I want to open this up so I don't get to go first and give all the takes. So first, let's just talk about the international break. Mind you, there's another one in 3 weeks, and then another one 4 weeks after that. We aren't the only club who lost somebody. It's not woe is me over here. But Sam, you have to. Are you one of those people who's happy about this, or do you think it takes away from the game?
It takes away from the game. I'm not happy with injuries. I would love to play you guys and beat you guys at full strength. No, I'm not happy about injuries at all. I'm not happy about you guys missing Declan Rice. I thought the call, obviously I've gone back and forth on that, but I just like to see both teams at full strength.
You're a bigger man than I.
At least I say that publicly. So who do you want to open it up to with all it takes?
I don't know. Anybody can jump in.
Mitchell.
What's the question? Do you want us to just openly complain? Because if we can do that.
No. Let's actually go back to who needs this more. Who needs this win more?
We do. Arsenal
needs this more. Yeah.
Just because you guys are in title race and we're
well, it's too early to say who's in anything, but we're trying, at least ambition-wise, to keep pace with a team who pull all their players from international breaks with fake injuries and have 2 deep in every position for 38 match weeks. So you can't stumble at all. We learned that in the last 2 seasons. And this is an away game against a rival. So it's clear that, any result for you would be fantastic, and anything short of a victory would see us lose pace. So
I don't know that I'd love a draw. I think that where we are,
you wouldn't take a draw right now.
You'd be happier with a draw than we would.
Totally. Maybe that's true, but I think that Spurs, I genuinely think that we have a good chance to win this game. You guys are missing 2 starters. We are more or less healthy. We got, I think, Van de Ven's back. I think Solanke is back.
Playing?
Who?
Basuma came off injured.
Well, I wouldn't even put him in my starting 11.
Oh, okay. Well, fuck me then.
Listen, I just think that we're at home. We're coming off the international break where we didn't lose anybody in injury. I think that I really think that Spurs could and maybe even should win this game. My prediction, if we're going to give one right now, I think Spurs win this game 2-1.
Interesting. You think you're going to score twice?
That might
Tommy,
be hopeful.
Tommy, quick. So Jorginho and Partey for you then?
Probably.
Yeah.
I think you play two pivots, 2 6s, whatever you want to call it, and then some form of a fluid front 4. I do think Jesus starts if he's healthy. Along with Havertz, pick your left winger, and Saka. The other thing I could see, which would be really interesting, is you still play the same kind of setup you've been doing for the past few games, and then you play Havertz, Trossard, Jesus, alongside Partey and Jorginho as 1-6-2-8s or someone else, and you have that left side just rotate. And you say, okay, you pick up whoever's space you want to, kind of thing. I don't think he's gonna give anyone out of the ordinary a chance from the start with a game.
This is what that's where the question is, right? Is it in Ethan or
Ethan and Mary? Romantically, I'd love to see him start and have a legacy-defining game, but I realize that's not in Arteta's locker for him to give that kind of a chance for a game like this, and that's probably not the best situation to put him in this weekend. I can see him coming on, though.
They could play Timber or Zinchenko in midfield, too. I could totally see that.
I'd much rather.
Not invert or anything. Yeah. Just actually start in midfield.
Yeah. No, I
don't mind that. I really don't.
Yeah.
But this is, I guess, the point that, Sam, your question is getting at. Is you want to be the team who feels like they know what's predictably going to happen on Sunday, and we are not that.
Well, is that because of all the sort of changeover in the personnel?
It's the sales. It's Fabio Vieira. This would be an opportunity for him to get 5 or 6 weeks consecutive that he's been looking for 3 years. He's gone. Nobody's really trained to play that Odegaard role. That's the system builder. He's been dropping so deep. Tommy, you see this stuff a lot. He's been dropping so deep in their build-up play. He's got a much more intricate role in the build-up play that he did last season, and even before that. It's going to change pretty much everything about the way we want to progress the ball without him. I've seen shouts for Saka at right side at 8.
Blow it up and just start from scratch. Fucking start plugging.
I've seen a lot of stuff this week. We're in a really, really hard. We Arsenal are in a very. This has the ability to be a very tumultuous fan base match on Sunday, I think.
Just on the Arsenal side or both?
Arsenal side.
Just on the Arsenal side. I think, barring a tremendously embarrassing game at home for you guys, I think perception within Spurs fan base, correct me if I'm wrong, stays the same throughout this game. I mean, you have your most healthy 11 for the most part. And again, barring like a 4-0 defeat, I think you guys stay steady. We could be in for a really, really dark 3 to 4 weeks right here.
Yeah. Does Sterling get in for you, Tommy?
Not from the start. Definitely off the bench. I would say I think you're going to see Arsenal go to a City-esque super defensive team with 4 center backs with this. And just try to provide some more solid foundation or balance to like both sides of the field. I think anyone who watches Arsenal is always like, they're very right-sided heavy, and then everything sometimes ends up in the back post on the left side. So I think maybe you'll see more balance to the way Arsenal plays, but also they will not be the team going for, I think, quote unquote, the win when you watch the game. Whereas I think Spurs, and that's the beauty of being a Spurs fan under Ange, is he's going to go for the win every single time he's out there. That's just like in his nature. That's the way they play. So I think the game could look a lot like that.
Yeah, you'll have 60+% of the ball, Sam.
God willing. I mean, I don't know if this Spurs team is the type of squad that wants to have the ball more. The way that you're saying, like, I feel like we almost set up better when we're hitting teams on the counter. I guess, I don't know. Is that a tactical thing you think Arteta wants to do?
Yeah, control. And he doesn't feel like he can play back and forth with you this week, I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to guess how this match script went, and I'll reveal it in best bets, this thing is not going to be that fun for anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, Spurs have a way of making things fun sometimes, but there's been plenty of games where we just, especially this season, we haven't been, clicking or whatever. So we'll see. That's why I thought, when Mitch said, if we win, would we really hold you guys to 1 goal? I do think that's possible. Like with our starting 4, we have both Udogie and Porro. We have Van de Ven, I believe, and Romero. I mean, we have our starting defense, and with those guys, I feel really good about this team. I like our chances. I like our chances in this game. I'm sticking with 2-1. All right. Any final thoughts here?
I'm going to fact check you like you're an old man that just debated on television last night. Spurs love having the ball. Absolutely love. They have the most possession.
I don't know if that's when we're at our best, though.
But if you have the ball 70% of the time on average this season and 62% of the time on average last season, you're a team that loves to have the ball.
We love playing on the counter. We're the best.
Yeah.
We also played Leicester, who we had like 97% of the ball, and Newcastle, who essentially played like Mikey thinks you guys are going to set up. So they're giving us the ball.
The second thing I would add is I think Spurs have the 3rd best center back partnership in the league, and Romero and Van de Ven are a version of Saliba Gabriel in their best sense. Like they're the light version of that. So I do agree.
Who's the 3rd or 2nd?
City.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this does sort of strike me as a defensive battle. Sort of what it low scoring, tactical. I know that's not necessarily what we think of with Ange ball, but it sounds like that may be what we end up seeing here on Sunday. Okay, so we'll save Mikey's prediction for best bets. Mitch and Tommy, you guys want to throw anything out there?
I'll save mine for best bets.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a painful draw.
I can see that. I can see that. Okay, now, rest of the match day here. We've got some interesting games. We've got Southampton hosting United. United, if anybody who's living under a rock or forgets what happened 2 weeks ago, which fair point, I do that all the time. Ten Hag may or may not be coaching for his job. I mean, if you lose to Southampton, who has been absolutely atrocious so far this season, do you think Ten Hag, Mikey, is he coaching for his job in this game?
I couldn't believe that he wasn't in the top 3 odds to start this season. They won't fire him, though.
You think since they didn't fire him after that Liverpool game, that means he's essentially
he's
not going to be fired?
He's got until the next international break, which by my watch could be any minute
now. United Southampton is one game I'll be watching. City Brentford. Brentford has started out this season surprisingly hot. And City, on the other hand, is at least giving up goals every single game. Even though they're winning, they're still giving up goals, suggesting that they may be beatable, I guess.
They're gonna run them over.
Do you think City's just gonna railroad them?
You put upset alert on there. I respect it. I do. It's optimistic. It implies that you sense a title run for your team, but Brentford did not look good at Anfield, and they're not going to look good here.
All right. Any other games, Mitch or Tommy? What games stand? I mean, it's kind of an interesting week just because, like, none of the games really sort of stand out outside the North London Dærby as being particularly intriguing. Any games for you, Mitch?
Wolves Newcastle, I like. Villa.
Wolves have quietly been dog shit.
What's that?
Wolves have quietly had a dog shit start to the season so far.
Yeah, but Newcastle's underperformed as well, so I think this is a chance for one of those teams to kind of establish themselves and come back from an international window in a different light. I think Villa's just going to beat the bag out of Everton. They're hopeless right now. Chelsea to beat Bournemouth. Brighton to beat Ipswich. I don't know. Yeah, none of these games are really super compelling. Feels like
something to look for is Aston Villa has a striker choice situation developing. I think that's super intriguing. Ollie Watkins with 30 combined goal assists last year. We're 3 match weeks in, and he could lose his job. That's pretty nuts.
I mean, he hasn't been able to hit this broadside of a barn so far this season, and John Duran's come in and scoring goals left and right. So you're right. It'd be interesting to see if they pull the trigger on that.
And the other thing I really want to see if Liverpool are what we think they are, which we've all been on record saying that they have become something to be very worried about at the top of the table. They've slipped up in games that you haven't looked at on a schedule and quite thought that they would in the last couple of years. This is obviously a totally different situation, but if they can handle Forest and keep the momentum rolling after the international break, that's one thing. But I could see them potentially dropping points.
We don't have Tyler here to get all butthurt about that, you saying that. We do have a London derby, Fulham hosting West Ham. Could be an interesting game. That's on Saturday. Yeah, I think we've touched on everything at this point. Now, FPL.
No, hold up. You guys haven't even touched what is my favorite game of the year.
Really?
And you've damn near listed every game.
Palace, Leicester?
I think I know where you're going here.
Bournemouth Chelsea could be a fucking over thriller for someone who likes overtrains.
Yeah, there could be 7 goals in that.
Yes, you're absolutely right on that based on their performances, both of them, so far this season. That's a good shout. I love that. Listen, anytime somebody's got to overtrain, recommendation.
That's why I was just sitting here tight waiting for you to say something.
Well, I figured that.
Yeah.
I'd wait for the best bets for that one because it is my best bet on Saturday. Good shout though. It's a good shout. I thought for a second you were talking about Palace hosting Leicester as being like your game of the game.
No.
I was like, that's cool. Big time soccer nerd move there. Now quickly, FPL. Anybody making moves? Anybody making moves this
week? I made a big
week?
move. Yeah.
What do you got for us?
I dropped Saka for the next few weeks. I dropped Saka and I dropped Isak. And I picked up Mohamed Salah and I picked up John Duran. I made the switch. I have been thinking about it and I decided to do it. I am actually putting Saliba on the bench this week as well. I'm terrified. So I'm going with, I'm dropping Saliba to the bench. I'm starting Duran and switched Salah for Salah. So I'm making the switch. I'm a Salah Holland team now.
It feels like you're buying really high on Duran. Do you think he still has goals to be scored, or do you think like this is a flash in the pan type of?
They have some really good fixtures coming up. They're home to Everton, home to Wolves, and then to play Ipswich.
Okay.
So he's going to play at least 120 minutes in those three.
Okay.
So I think he's got a couple goals in there. And honestly, I have João Pedro in Holland. So if he needs to be my 6 point whatever million pound backup striker, I'm totally okay with that to bring Salah in.
Fair.
But yes, I am buying as high as possible. To be fair.
Yeah. You're throwing Saliba on the bench against Spurs? You think it's going to be?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I am. Yes. I don't know how to word that any differently. I don't want both of my things to suffer if something goes horribly wrong, and I have a bad feeling in my chest.
Okay. This feels like a real Mikey statement, not a reverse jinx, Mikey statement. So I like that.
Well, maybe you're falling into my trap.
I know. I'm always prepared and thinking that that's a possibility. So I haven't made moves yet. I still have to make my moves. One of them will have to be dropping Odegaard. So I'll have to be making moves there. Well, he rolled his ankle, allegedly. And all right, I guess we're done there. We're done with FPL.
I'm catching Mitch this week. Mitch will never be above me after this week.
I have not made any moves. I haven't really given it much thought just yet. I have thought about picking up John Duran. I'm holding out on Isak, though. There's no way somebody of his quality can continue to just underperform like he has. I think he's going to hit his stride, particularly this week against Wolves. Emile Smith-Rowe is in for a big season. I don't know what to do with Odegaard, though. And
Smith-Rowe's... They haven't been playing him more than 70 minutes in the first 3 weeks, and I'm fearful that that's the thing all year.
No, but where else do goals come from? Is he their penalty taker?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Okay. All right.
He's in my team. I'm not saying that that's a judgmental thing. I'm looking at your team. Yeah, you need to make some moves. Not that it's a bad team, but you've got some.
No, I haven't addressed it this week. I looked at the outline and said, "Oh shit, I am still playing that."
That's why I'm confident that this is the last week you're above me.
You're only 1 point up right now. By the way, Isak is in the team name of yours, so I don't know if that means you aren't allowed to drop him.
Yeah, I think I need to keep him for at least the first half of the season if I'm naming my team after him.
There you go. I mean, the same thing you said about Isak, I could say about Watkins. I've kept him on the team. There's no way he could, keep missing wide open nets continually. But shit, I'm starting to think maybe I'm wrong.
My team name is Major League Soccer, and I just cut him. So you guys need to smile.
Okay. No prisoners over there for Mikey. Mm-mm. All right. Well, it should be a good weekend. I'm going to actually go to the Wisconsin-Bama game on Saturday.
Idiot.
And then we're going to get absolutely worked. But it'll be a lot of fun. And then Sunday, North London Dærby. I'm looking forward to this weekend. Now, halftime, weekly what if. So, Mikey, I know you're going to have some thoughts here. A lot of people hate the international windows, most of them anyway, and everybody seems to hate the September window in particular. So, if you were the unquestioned king of the soccer universe, Mikey, I think you should start here. How would you fix the club and country schedule? What would you do?
Everybody gets the Germany month break, and then international teams play in 2 windows all year to qualify. You play 4 or 5 matches in those windows, and then the rest of the time there's nothing. This is insane. Major tournaments, genuinely speaking, the performance by an international team in a major tournament has very little to do with the amount of work they've done in qualification. It's just about the players who show up on the day. So I'm not. If you want me to be really radical, they should say hi to each other for the first time all year at the tournament. But I know that that's not totally realistic. So I think condensing them to 1 or 2 windows and bulking 4 or 5 games, and then giving 2 weeks on either side of that. Even like the way they did the World Cup, I don't mind if that's built in every single year to be the qualification period.
Oh, all right. Tommy, I feel like this is something you may have put some thought into at some point, just given your big brain and soccer-loving nature.
I actually don't hate what Mikey just said for an alternative. I just think the amount of useless friendlies that these guys play is unnecessary. Like if you're going to host this break, have it be a World Cup qualifier, like South America, where you're playing games that actually count. And I think that's the bigger thing. It's just more games that mean something in these breaks. And if you physically can't do that, have less breaks. And then you can play more club games, which I'd go out on a limb, makes everyone more money. Even UEFA, in this case, probably gets more money if by letting these clubs play more club games than national team games. I have zero financial knowledge on that. That's just a hunch. So that would be number one. Less games that don't matter, more games that do, whether those are club or country.
Now, but UEFA would then say that these games. I know we were playing friendlies here in CONCACAF since we, are already automatically qualified for the World Cup. But the UEFA are playing Nations League, which they would say matter. They're meaningful games. So you would just say like get rid of Nations League.
So get rid of Nations League. Okay, if that's a way to turn friendlies into a real game and make money for UEFA, you just change the Champions League format. Just add 2 to 4 more Champions League games in their new league format and get rid of 2 of these fall breaks. Like the fact that these guys have to go from playing a Euro or a Copa America straight into a preseason, and then 3 weeks after the preseason go into a meaningless national team game, at least for UEFA, it just feels like the biggest hangover this week. And it's like they're better off just giving these guys a longer extended break to start the year.
We know that there's no such thing as breaks. They'll find a way to fill it.
There's another one in 4 weeks.
Yeah, it is hell for these guys playing a game every 3 days. And then you talk about some of these guys going to play in South America. And like Argentina, Colombia just played each other in a World Cup qualifier. And now you have to go play on the weekend in England. Like, that's crazy.
All right. God willing, FIFA.
Why don't we just get rid of it?
Change. Get rid of what?
Get rid of
international soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that. At some point, I knew Mikey was going to bring that up.
Yeah, we were getting there.
Just mix it all together. Oh, Mikey, we do not see eye to eye on that. But
move the tournaments like March Madness. Every nation gets in, and it happens once every 4 years.
Oh, your hatred for sort of international soccer is it boggles my mind a little bit. You're just a club over country guy, I guess. You're. I think there's always been hasn't England and English fans, hasn't that always been sort of the thing for them as well? I know maybe it's changing now. Hasn't that always been like a thing for English fans? They're always club over country.
No.
No, am I wrong on that? Okay.
I think you have it backwards.
All right. Never mind. All right.
White does.
Let's go. Good point. Let's go to stoppage time. Finish up quick here. So Ivan Toney's best bets overtrain. We're cooking, and the hat worked. God damn it. We went 4 for 5 last week, feeling good. And not only did we go 4 for 5, but the 4 winners actually went over like big time. They all had like 4 goals. The Icelandic game on Sunday, which I honestly can't even pronounce one of the teams, Vestmannaeyjar, 6-0. No big deal, just a 6-0. So, putting the hat on, we're going to go searching, scrounging for some winners here. Now, I do have 5. I got one for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. A lot of you guys won't be hearing this until Thursday morning, so apologies for that. But if you listen on YouTube, I'm going to put it up right away. Hopefully, it'll get out there before the game. So Wednesday, we will start off here in the US of A with NISA. The Maryland Bobcats and Michigan Stars are playing, and this game is absolutely going over. Thursday, my favorite league, Australia. not actual domestic league. This is a cup game between Adelaide United and Western Sydney. But anytime I see an Australian game, my mouth gets watering. Friday, we're going to Germany. Dortmund hosting Heidenheim. Heidenheim they've started the season hot. I think they've been scoring a lot of goals. Dortmund, I know, hasn't been scoring quite as many, but this is at Dortmund. This has both teams scoring written all over it, so I like that. Dortmund hosting Heidenheim. Saturday, we already talked about it, Chelsea and Bournemouth. Chelsea at Bournemouth. Both these teams are scoring left and right, and they both get scored on quite a bit, so that's an easy one. And then Sunday, we're going to the Allsvenskan in Sweden, where Sirius is hosting, Brahma Pajkarna. My pronunciation is just absolutely atrocious.
Good team.
The Brahmins?
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Well, they score a lot of goals, so I'm there with you on that one. So we're going from U.S., Australia, Bundesliga, England, and Sweden. 5-a-side, overtrained. Let's get rich. Let's get richer coming off of last week. Okay, I'll pass the microphone on to Mitch. Looks like you're ready to go. What do you got for us best bets-wise?
No crazy leagues. I feel like I should do more research. Every time you give your 5-a-side, I learn about a new team that scores goals, and I'm stuck here doing like La Liga and Premier League, but I make money, so don't care. All 3 Premier League fixtures, you're going to parlay them all. United and Chelsea moneyline. We talked about, Ten Hag's coaching for his job. Chelsea's playing Bournemouth. Also, I'm sure somebody's taking the over in that one. And both teams to score, Fulham, West Ham. Nothing crazy. You're going to put them together. You're at plus 450.
Crazy. That's a nice little plus 450, though. Okay, Tommy, best bet. What do you got for us?
You're a psycho for not taking Arsenal Spurs over. The last 6 or 7 games have had like 4 or 5 goals minimum. So I'm taking the over with an Arsenal win and a Jesus goal.
I like the optimism there. I just don't know if the way this game is setting up just doesn't feel like one of those games. It feels like Arsenal is going to come in, maybe be a little more conservative. But listen, if you say goal fest, I like the optimism. Hopefully some goals on our side, not yours. But I like it. Okay, Mikey, what are you hitting us with?
So there's 3 things I like, and then there's one that I will give normally. So my correct score, Arsenal Tottenham bet, plus 650 is 1-1. Now, if you don't feel the same way I do about a 1-1 draw, or if you do, you can start pairing it with other things. But so that's plus 650. I'll give that out as my real one. Now, I feel like I'm indebted to do the player prop thing because all I do is give out player props in the group chat, so I have to start doing that. Eze to have 2+ shots on target against Leicester's plus 130. João Pedro to score against Ipswich is plus 110. If you put that with Holland minus 195 to score, you get a plus 630 parlay. So you can either choose the player one or the correct score one. And I'm probably going to just put them all together and lose my money. So you can pick the either plus 650 if you want.
The amount of player prop bets that you do, and you
I make money on them. I'm good at it. They've started limiting how much I can bet on them on FanDuel.
Jeez. That's how you know they're paying attention.
It's mostly 2+ shots on target, and there are certain guys that I have labeled as absolute musts. One of them, Pedro Porro, I won't take in this one, but I love betting him to have 2+ shots on target.
He's a shot machine, no doubt about that.
I mean, for this game specifically, he is 2+ shots on target is plus 2,700. So now I have to fucking take that again.
Now you're in.
It's crazy. There are certain players that are just way priced wrong on shots on target.
Pedro Porro. Everybody take notes here.
Højbjerg right. When he plays for Denmark is a lock as well. So sorry to that one out late.
That is some serious soccer nerdom we're talking about there. All right, let's put a bow on this episode. Go time, everybody's favorite segment. I got a couple written down, but I won't start off. I don't want to take your guys. So, Tommy, you ready to go? Who's your goalie this week?
Yeah, I've got Lee Carsley. Did a great job with England, flew under the radar, but the reason he is my goa is for not singing the national anthem as he played for Ireland and was managing England against Ireland. and just defending it. He's like, I don't have to sing the fucking anthem to be the coach, kind of thing, which I love, especially because it's England, Ireland, and then the little sprinkle on top would be the Rice and Grealish celebrations, and just the contrast of those two was the icing on the cake. But yeah, Lee Carsley's my Goa.
Just a ridiculous situation. I'm glad you brought up the Carsley thing, but like just a ridiculous situation with Rice and Grealish, right? These are guys. I mean, Ireland, they do not like when players do this. Switching from Ireland to England obviously carries all sorts of connotations and historical whatevers. But the fact that they both switched, they both played youth with Ireland. We're talking Declan Rice and Jack Grealish here. They both played youth for Ireland, switched to England, and then they both scored in the game, in the first half, no less. Just that's rough. And then what you're talking about with the celebrations, Declan Rice, he did the whole, like, I'm not going to celebrate thing. Jack Grealish had absolutely no qualms.
He was going like this.
He went completely the opposite direction, which is interesting. I was just the other week, we were talking about, like, how could anybody dislike Jack Grealish? He just kind of seems like a golden retriever. But then you do something like that. Yeah, now I can actually see why you got some haters right there. Okay, Mikey, Goa.
I didn't know about the Frank Lampard 9/11 story, and I hate him so much. I just need to use my Goa segment to have everybody go Google it and just have your hate for Chelsea grow a little bit more. I cannot believe it's a thing that's avoided me for so long. What a piece of shit. And honest to God, like, I need to use my time to make everybody go Google that, because it was repulsive. And honestly, like, him ending up playing for NYCFC is just like, it could not be more unbelievable of a story, and I didn't know about it. And if I don't know about it, then I assume most of you guys don't either. That's just unfortunately the reality of it. So go take a look. It's fucking brutal. He sucks.
I can't believe you didn't know about that. I had no idea. You did not know about that. I've always heard it was him and John Terry just getting absolutely, blotto drunk at Heathrow.
Some of the worst people in the world, those two.
All right. So there, get a little research or homework assignment.
Yeah, everyone go look it up.
As is Goa. Mitch, who's your Goa?
I got 2 honorable mentions and then 1 true Goa. First is the nation of San Marino, that earned their first competitive international win against Liechtenstein this past international window. The first one that they had, their original first win was a friendly, also against Liechtenstein. So for some reason, they just have their number. Proud of that nation with a population of about 30,000, I want to say. Small island nation, but good for them. Number 2 is John Duran, for the cultural momentum that he seems to be picking up very, very quickly. And I want to attribute it to this podcast and how much we talk about him and back him. John Duran, remember us when you get that big $100 million move, because that will come. I don't know if it's in this January window or the next summer, but he is going to fetch a pretty penny from a very big club. Villa are already fielding offers for him. So those are my 2 honorable mentions, but my real Goa is Subiano head coach Alessio Guidotti in the Italian 6th tier, who took it upon himself to stop a counterattack from the sideline. He ran onto the field and tackled a player. It looked to be a clean tackle, too. There was nothing illegal about it, except for the fact that he was a coach tackling a player. Earned himself a red card and also stopped the goal. That game ended 0-0. So in my eyes, that's a worthwhile red card, is it not? That's really, really good risk assessment on the fly from him, and that's why you pay a coach the big bucks to make those pressure decisions like that. So great tackle, great decision, great red card. Alessio Guidotti.
Well done. Quick fact check, as long as we're doing fact checks here. San Marino, not a small island. It's in the middle of Italy. Just FYI.
Well done, moderator. Well done.
He had me.
It's a small island. I've been there many times.
You got a good rendition.
Who the hell knew that?
So I'm a geography nerd, just like you're a player prop soccer nerd. That I couldn't tell you. No idea.
Right. Wormhole.
I mean, the history of Italy and the geography is very crazy. Anyway, my GOAWs. So San Marino is going to be one of them. It's a good shout there. I'm going to give honorable mention to United FC in the UAE, United Arab Emirates. It's a second division team in the UAE who signed Quincy Promes. Remember the guy from
my G,
the Dutch guy, the Dutch guy. Just a big brain here, big brain move by him. So he, was under, he was under the gun from authorities, not real gun, but the authorities were after him.
He's slanging yay.
Right. Cocaine. There was also some sort of maybe a DUI or something like that. So he was playing in Russia, and Russia and the Netherlands don't have an extradition agreement. So he was kind of outside the realm of what the Dutch could do. Well, he, on his summer break or whatever, with his Spartak Moscow team, went to UAE. And UAE does have an extradition agreement with the Netherlands. So the Netherlands are trying to get him from the UAE to be extradited to Netherlands so he can, stand trial or go to jail or whatever. Well, while he's there and doing all this UAE second division team is like, well, what you up to for the next couple months? And he's like, playing for you guys, I guess. So he signed a deal with United FC of in the UAE second division. If he in his contract, if he somehow gets off the hook for all this criminal stuff, he can then go back and rejoin Spartak Moscow or whatever his Russian club is. But at the moment, he's playing for a second division team in the UAE. Shout out Quincy Promes as my honorable mention. But my real Goa for the week is none other than Alex Morgan. So she announced this week that she is going to have another kid and retire at the end of the season. I feel like she's kind of gone, like it's just gotten, I don't know, we've just gotten used to her always being with the national team for however many years at this point. And not just the national team, but also just the face of women's soccer in the U.S. to a certain extent. If you look at her resume, 2 World Cups, an Olympic gold medal. She won the Champions League when she was over playing in France. She also won the French League. She won the NWSL. She made England her bitch with her little England tea celebration in the World Cup. And then she's also been like a completely unproblematic role model for millions and millions of young kids who, aspire to be professional soccer player. So I think that like her career, while we all sort of revere it and like revere her and sort of are impressed by her and everything, I do think that she's kind of underestimated or kind of underappreciated for the career she's had. So shout out to Alex Morgan on a hell of a run. And hopefully her kids. I think she's married to a soccer player as well. So hopefully we got the next generation coming through. So shout out Alex Morgan. There we go. Mikey, Mitch, Tommy, you guys are the best. Hopefully you have a horrible Sunday. But other than that, I wish nothing but the best for you. Everybody else, thank you for listening. We'll be back next week. Same time, same place. Bigger, better, faster, stronger. See you guys then. Cheers.
Bigger, better, faster.
Is it?
It has not stopped recording yet.
No, it has not. So I got this thing.
It says it's stopping.